I thought about what is emerging for me in this moment, and it's surrender. I went through a process of realizations this morning that felt expansive, that were really me arguing in my head about different ideas, different reasons why I should do this and should not do this. And then, of course, making plans in how to carry that out. And these plans are really bogus plans because they're plans that the mind constructs within its limitation. And it can be plans made out of avoid potentially feeling hurt, out of protection. Like, I really want love and connection, but how do I get that without being hurt? And really doubting that it's possible. But I can feel that surrender into a place where there is that love and connection. And it's not just a feeling of love and connection, but it's very much love and connection with another person in a very healthy way. It's not just spiritualizing it into, well, you don't need someone else, which you don't. And part of my realization this morning was not needing someone, not putting myself in a position where I'm trying to barter or trade something for someone, trying to barter or trade something for something else from someone. I was feeling into that and feeling how that didn't feel good. And realizing that it's so much better, for example, instead of trying to make a partner or a man my source of abundance in terms of financial, just being my own source of abundance and thinking about the masculine and feminine dynamic of that and how I can see that playing out in this potential future scenario that I was imagining. And I came to some conclusion and then some thoughts about what I need to do about it. And now I just feel, I'm not sure if it's just heaviness and this darkness that's come up suddenly. And then feeling this space of love and acceptance and surrender. Knowing that, really knowing that I really don't know what is going to happen and I can't plan and chart it out. That it can be really amazing and magical. Through the act of learning to surrender, and this is what's emerging, is this lesson of surrender. Surrender to something that is bigger than the small identity that is held onto so tightly. And it's like, this is the lesson, is that you can't know what's coming because then you don't learn how to surrender. But of course, once you learn that lesson, then you can gain that back. You don't have to walk into every situation blind. But in terms of what's emerging for me right now, it's that developing the trust of not knowing, to release that urge to control. And it's not just a little bit of releasing, it's releasing all of that. Because I've been recording videos on releasing the poverty consciousness that I've been aware of, that I was thinking of making into a course, and really committing myself to the process of letting go every little piece of poverty consciousness within myself. Because this is what felt really genuine to me. It felt challenging. To really challenge all my beliefs around money. And really not just money, but being able to create value from a really inspired place in a way that's really creative and joyful and fun, and challenges all those beliefs that I can't do it. All that restriction that keeps me from challenging myself and stepping into potential opportunities. And I felt in the past really that a lot of the ways to outward financial abundance have felt really uncomfortable. As in, I really don't want to do that. And I can see the path forward where it feels really good, it feels really expansive, it feels really aligned with my heart. And at the same time, it is scary. Because it's requiring me to step into unknown territory, growing spiritually, but also in terms of knowing how to bring those principles into my life and make them work. So it's not just about feeling better, and maybe it's a little bit of feeling worse, but going through that death and transformation and rebirth. And it's really exciting what's coming out of that. Like, I can feel elements of that within me. Bliss and excitement and clarity and direction. And then I'm also facing these roadblocks of feeling challenged and like this stuck, like it's this wall where it's like this, it feels like this is the end. And then I remember, oh, no, it's not the end. It just feels like that in this moment because this is the end of who I am, how I've known myself to be. And it's really all about what I get to experience, what's inside of me, and less really about what I have or what I possess. And as I step into surrender, there's still that part that wants to do something about it, wants to analyze it, wants to plan, wants to figure it out. But this is coming from a really limited place. But this is what I've known, so it's natural to feel that. And then there's another step of surrender, surrendering back into the act of surrendering. Every moment of your life can be more joyful, feel more depths of meaning and peace. And this is the adventure that we have in front of us. Not conquering lands on a different continent, but instead exploring and discovering new aspects within ourselves. What happens when your paradigms collapse, your perspective on the world collapses? Then what's left? It's kind of like if you have a really toxic relationship that creates a lot of drama, but then you create an identity out of it and you finally end it and step away from it. And there's this emptiness there, and that's hard because what's going to replace it? This took up so much of your time and energy, and what's going to replace it? And I had a thought, well, you've never been in a toxic relationship, but I have. It just wasn't a romantic one. And I've stepped away from it and created this space and peace in my life. And I'm thankful for the lessons that I've learned. I've learned how to stop paying attention to problems that aren't my problems and that are part of a story that is dying. I've learned to stay focused and centered on the true, eternal part of myself that I can feel, that has this peace and security, that isn't constantly buffeted by the winds of whatever drama is going on that day or that week. I know I had to really step up and take action and take accountability and make decisions that would help me get out of that situation. And I know that that resistance to surrendering is a resistance to surrendering and just going along with the shit that was going on. I couldn't surrender then because I needed to grow and move out of that. But now I have, and then the next step is to surrender into what's happening now. And so I have to unlearn what I learned in the past. But it's at a new level and a new dimension. So you're constantly developing new aspects and dimensions, or you can call them tools, aspects of yourself that you can draw upon and use them in a more refined way. Like the feminine and masculine aspects of yourself, which I'll talk about in the video on Saturday. And I know when I'm surrendering into a place of divine love where I am protected. Because I'm really connected to myself. And that connection provides direction. And it's challenging, but it's also blissful at the same time.